It was supposed to be a quiet Saturday. Ethan Monroe, one of the most successful tech billionaires in the country, was trying to take a break from the world of business meetings, phone calls, and contracts. For once, he had left his phone in the car and was walking hand in hand with his 10-year-old daughter, Lily, down the sidewalk near a local supermarket. It wasn't a fancy store. It's just a regular place in a regular neighborhood. That's why he liked coming here sometimes. It reminded him of the days before all the money, before all the fame. Lily skipped beside him, humming a song and holding a small list of snacks she wanted. She was full of energy, wearing her favorite green dress, her hair in a ponytail, and a smile that could light up the sky. Ethan smiled at her, thankful for these rare, peaceful moments. He had been working non-stop for the past few months, and this day was for her. No distractions, just dad and daughter. As they stepped out of the store, Lily suddenly stopped walking. She turned her head and stared across the parking lot. Ethan followed her gaze and saw a woman sitting on the ground near the entrance, holding a baby in her arms.
Oh!
The baby was crying loudly, its small face red and wet with tears.
Ah!
The woman looked tired, more than tired. Her eyes were sunken, her clothes were dusty, and her shoulders slumped, as if the weight of the world was sitting right on them. Next to her feet was a torn cardboard sign that read, "Please help. Need milk for my baby. God bless." Most people walked past her quickly, pretending not to see. Some glanced at her but kept walking. Ethan was used to that kind of behavior. He had seen it all his life. But what surprised him was what Lily did next. "Daddy, wait," she said, tugging at his sleeve. "We have to help her." Ethan looked down, unsure what to say. He had seen people in need before, and he often donated to charities, but he didn't usually stop like this. He was in casual clothes, didn't have security with him, and didn't want to draw attention. Still, Lily's eyes were serious. "Wasn't letting go of his hand, sweetheart. I understand, but maybe she's—" he started to say. But Lily interrupted him. "Her baby's crying. She needs help. Please." There was something in her voice, something innocent and deeply kind, that made Ethan pause. He looked again at the woman. She hadn't noticed them. She was gently bouncing the baby, whispering words that probably made sense only to her child. Ethan sighed and nodded. "Okay, let's go talk to her." They walked over slowly. Lily smiled warmly, and Ethan crouched down a little to be eye level with the woman. "Hi," Ethan said softly, not wanting to scare her. "Do you need help?" The woman looked up, surprised. Her lips parted, but no words came out at first. Then she nodded, holding the baby closer. I just need milk," she said. "I'm sorry. I'm not asking for much. Just something for my baby." "No need to be sorry," Ethan said gently. "We can help." Lily's face lit up. "Can we get her some baby food too, Daddy?" Ethan smiled.
Yes, we can.
The woman's eyes filled with tears, and she lowered her head, wiping her face with the back of her hand. "I don't know what to say." "Thank you," she whispered. "What's your name?" Ethan asked. "Maria," she replied. "And this is my daughter, Hope." "Maria and Hope," Ethan repeated. "Beautiful names." Lily reached into the shopping bag she was holding and pulled out a soft granola bar. "You can have this for now," she said, handing it over with both hands. Maria looked at her in disbelief and slowly took it. They went back into the store. Lily was excited, running from aisle to aisle, picking diapers, baby formula wipes, and even a soft toy. Ethan let her choose everything. It was the first time in a long while he saw her so passionate about something. It wasn't about toys or games. It was about helping someone. 10 minutes later, they returned with 2 full bags. Ethan placed them next to Maria, who looked overwhelmed. She reached for one and paused, as if still unsure if this was really happening. "You don't need to pay me back," Ethan said. "Just take care of your baby." Maria looked up at him, her lips trembling. "You don't know what this means to me. I've been on the street for 2 weeks. I left a bad situation. I didn't know where else to go. I'm trying to find a job, but no one hires you when you're holding a baby. I sleep in my car. It's hard, but I don't want to give up." Ethan listened quietly. She wasn't complaining. She wasn't angry. She was just tired. And honest. Lily leaned against Ethan's side. Can we help her more? Ethan took out a small business card from his wallet. He didn't want to scare her by saying who he really was. It just had a phone number and his assistant's name. Maria, he said. If you call this number tomorrow, I can try to help you more. Maybe help you find a job, a place to stay, something better than this. Maria stared at the card as if it were made of gold. I'll call, I promise. Good, he said with a smile. My daughter has a good heart. She's the reason we stopped. Maria turned to Lily. Thank you, sweet girl. Lily grinned. You're welcome. As they walked away, Ethan felt different. Usually he gave through donations and business grants, but this was face. To face it was personal, and it came from his daughter's heart, not his wallet. He realized something he hadn't thought about in a long time. Sometimes it's not the size of your money that matters. It's the size of your attention. That night, after Lily had gone to sleep, Ethan sat on the balcony of his house and looked at the stars. He thought about Maria, about her baby, and about the millions of others like her. He thought about how close she had been to falling through the cracks, until one little girl with a big heart pulled her back into the light, and he knew. This wasn't over. The next morning, Ethan woke up earlier than usual. The quiet of his large home felt different now, filled with a strange feeling of purpose. His mind kept going back to Maria and her baby. He remembered the way Lily's eyes had looked full of hope and kindness. That small moment with a woman he barely knew had somehow moved him more than any business deal ever had. After breakfast, Ethan called his assistant Sarah and told her about Maria. He asked Sarah to prepare a small plan. He didn't want to just give money and forget. He wanted to help Maria in a way that would last, a way that would help her stand on her own feet again. Sarah agreed immediately and promised to make some calls. She was used to handling complicated projects, but this one felt special. Sarah knew Ethan wasn't just talking about business. This was about something deeper. She found a small office space in one of their nonprofit organizations, one that helped people in difficult situations. She also started looking for a job role that Maria could do, something flexible enough to allow her to take care of her baby. Later that afternoon, Ethan gave Maria a call. He spoke gently and calmly, not wanting to scare her. Maria was surprised, and a little nervous to hear from a man who seemed so important. But Ethan's kind voice made her feel safe. I want to help you, Maria, Ethan said. I have a place where you can work. It's not a big job, but it's a start. I want to help you with a home, a safe place for you, and hope to stay. Maria's voice cracked. I don't know what to say, thank you. I never imagined someone like you would want to help me. It's not about who I am, Ethan replied. It's about doing the right thing. You're working hard and you deserve a chance. I believe in you. They arranged to meet the next day at a quiet cafe near Ethan's office. Maria was worried but hopeful. She dressed in her best clothes, one she had carefully cleaned and mended. Hope wore a little pink sweater, looking sleepy but calm in her mother's arms. When they met, Ethan introduced Maria to Sarah, who explained the job. It was a part-time position, helping organize paperwork and scheduling events for the nonprofit. It wouldn't pay a lot at first, but it was honest work with room to grow. Sarah also told Maria that Ethan would cover the rent for a small apartment nearby for 6 months. It was furnished and safe, a place Maria could call home without fear. Maria's eyes filled with tears again. She could not believe her luck. For months, she had been scared, tired, and alone. Now, someone was offering her a fresh start. This means everything to me, Maria said softly. I want to work hard. I want to be a good mother to Hope. Ethan smiled. I know you will. And Lily's very proud of you too. Maria and Ethan left the cafe together, but Lily was not there. Ethan had told his daughter about the meeting, but he wanted to keep it private. He knew Maria's story was fragile, and he wanted to protect her from too much attention. Back at home, Ethan sat with Lily and told her what had happened. Lily clapped her hands happily. I told you, Daddy. We can help her, she said. Ethan laughed, hugging her. You were right, Lily. You have a kind heart. The days passed quickly. Maria started her new job with nervous excitement. Every morning, she dressed carefully and left Hope with a trusted childcare provider. The apartment was small, but comfortable. It was the first time she had a place to keep her baby safe without worrying about being homeless or hungry at work. Maria found the staff welcoming. They helped her learn new skills and encouraged her. She was determined to do her best. Ethan checked in often, but always quietly. He didn't want to make her feel like a charity case. Instead, he wanted to support her like a friend. Lily, too, kept in touch. She sent little drawings and notes for Hope, and once she visited Maria's apartment with her father, Maria was touched by the kindness of this little girl who had started it all. One afternoon, after a long day at work, Maria sat on the small couch with Hope sleeping beside her. She felt tired but hopeful. For the first time in a long time, she dared to dream. She thought about the life she had left behind, the abuse, the fear, the nights in the car with no place to go. She remembered how lost she had felt, how the future had seemed dark. But now, there was light. Maria started taking night classes to finish her high school diploma. It was difficult with a baby and a job, but she wanted to improve her chances. Ethan's support gave her the courage to believe in herself again. Meanwhile, Ethan's life was also changing. His business world continued to spin fast, but now, he had a new focus. He often found himself thinking about the other women like Maria, those struggling quietly, unseen by most. He started asking his team to look for ways to help more people like her. One day, Ethan called Lily to his study. "Lily, do you remember Maria?" "Of course, Daddy," she replied with a smile. "Well, I want to help more moms and babies like her. What do you think?" Lily's eyes widened. "Can we do that? Can we really?" "Yes. We're going to start something new. Project to give homes, jobs, and hope to moms who need it. We'll call it ... the Lily Project." Lily jumped up and down with excitement. "That's my name. I love it." As the weeks went by, the Lily Project took shape. Ethan and his team worked hard, creating programs for housing, job training, childcare, and health support. Maria became one of the first success stories, a symbol of hope and strength. Maria was proud but humble. She had come to losing everything. She began volunteering in the project, helping other mothers find their way. Her smile grew brighter, her steps stronger. One evening, as Ethan and Maria sat together at a small event for the project, Maria said, "Quietly, you gave me a second chance." "I don't know how to thank you." Ethan shook his head. "No thanks needed. It was your courage that made it possible. You just needed someone to see it." Maria nodded, holding Hope close. "And Lily, I will never forget that little girl's heart." Ethan smiled, feeling a deep warmth inside. It was true. Sometimes a small voice can change a life. Sometimes the greatest power lies in kindness and belief. And so, what started with a simple walk and a daughter's gentle request grew into a movement that would touch many lives. All because one man listened to his child and chose to act. Maria's life was changing in ways she had never dreamed possible. The small apartment where she and baby Hope now lived was quiet and safe, a place where she could finally rest without fear. Every morning, she woke early to get Hope ready for the day before heading to her job at the nonprofit organization. The work was not easy, but it gave her purpose, something she had been missing for a long time. At first, Maria felt nervous. She worried she might not be able to keep up with the responsibilities or that her past would hold her back. But the people she worked with were kind and patient. Sarah, Ethan's assistant, often checked in with her to offer support. Maria found herself learning new skills, organizing files, managing schedules, and even helping plan small events for the nonprofit. She was growing more confident every day. One afternoon, while Maria was arranging chairs for an upcoming meeting, Ethan walked into the office quietly. He smiled when he saw her focused on her work. "Maria," he said softly, "how are you doing today?" She looked up and returned his smile. "Better, every day. Thank you for believing in me." Ethan nodded. "You are doing all the hard work, We're just here to help. Maria thought about how different her life was now compared to just a few weeks ago. She remembered the days when she had nowhere to go, no one to turn to, and a crying baby in her arms with no milk or diapers. Those memories still hurt, but they also pushed her forward. At home, hope was growing too. She began to laugh and reach for toys, her eyes bright and full of curiosity. Maria loved watching her baby learn new things every day. She tried her best to give Hope a happy and healthy life, something she had always wanted but never thought she could provide. Evenings were often busy. Maria used the quiet time after Hope fell asleep to study. She was determined to finish her high school diploma. The nights were long, but she didn't complain. She knew this was her chance to change her life, not just for herself, but for her daughter. One day, Ethan invited Maria to a small gathering at his home. He wanted her to meet some of the people involved in the Lily Project. Maria felt nervous walking into a house so big and filled with expensive things. She wasn't used to this world of wealth and luxury. But Ethan greeted her warmly and introduced her to everyone as a vital part of the project. The guests listened as Maria shared her story, the struggles, the fear, and the hope that kept her going. Her honest and humble words moved many. People admired her strength and courage. Later, Ethan pulled Maria aside. "You inspire us all," he said. "You are proof that kindness and opportunity can change lives." Maria smiled, feeling both proud and grateful. She knew she still had a long journey ahead, but for the first time, she felt hopeful. Meanwhile, the Lily Project was growing. Ethan and his team were working hard to raise funds, find safe housing, and build partnerships with local businesses. To provide jobs for mothers like Maria, the project became a symbol of hope in the community. Lily was excited about the project named after her. She often asked her father if she could help more moms and babies. Ethan encouraged her spirit and sometimes took her to volunteer days, where she handed out toys or read stories to children. One afternoon, Maria received a call from a young woman named Sarah who had heard about the Lily Project and wanted help. She was pregnant and homeless, just like Maria had been. Maria listened carefully and offered to meet her, hoping to give her the same chance she had been given. When Sarah arrived, Maria saw the fear and exhaustion in her eyes. She felt a deep connection and promised to help her through the project. Watching Sarah smile again reminded Maria of her own journey. The more Maria helped others, the more she healed herself. She began to believe she could make a difference beyond her own life. Ethan, too, was inspired by Maria's courage and the work of the Lily Project. He realized that his daughter's small request had opened his eyes to a world he had not paid enough attention to. He started planning ways to expand the project to other cities, hoping to help thousands of mothers and children. One evening, after a long day of meetings, Ethan sat down with Lily. "Do you know why we started the Lily Project?" he asked Lily. Nodded. "Because I wanted to help Maria." "That's right," Ethan smiled. "Yes. And because you showed me how important it is to listen and act." Lily grinned, proud of the role she played. As months passed, Maria's life continued to improve. She was promoted at work and had more responsibility. She enrolled in more classes and dreamed of one day starting her own business. Hope was healthy and happy, growing stronger every day. Maria never forgot where she came from. She often thought about the woman who sat beside her on the sidewalk, desperate and alone. She knew there were many more out there who needed help. And so, with the help of Ethan, Lily, and the Lily Project, Maria began to change not only her own life, but the lives of many others. One sunny afternoon, Maria stood at the front of a room, filled with women. They were mothers just like her, tired, scared, but hopeful. Maria shared her story with them, her voice steady and strong. "You are not alone," she said. "There is help, there is hope. And together, we can rise." The room filled with applause and tears. Afterwards, Ethan watched from the back, his heart full. He realized that the true power of his wealth was not in money or fame, but in the ability to change lives one person at a time. And for Maria, the future was bright. The woman who once sat on a cold sidewalk with a crying baby was now a leader, a symbol of hope, and a mother determined to build a better life for her child. The story of Maria and her baby Hope soon began to spread beyond the small circle of people who knew them. Started quietly, a few neighbors, some co-workers at the nonprofit, then the people who volunteered for the Lily Project, but it wasn't long before a short video clip of Ethan Monroe helping Maria was shared online by someone at the cafe where they first met. The video showed Ethan quietly giving Maria the business card and offering support, while Lily smiled beside him. It was a small, simple act, but the message behind it touched many hearts. Within days, the video went viral. People from all over the country saw the billionaire bending down to help a struggling mother and her baby. Headlines appeared in newspapers and online news sites. Billionaire's daughter inspires. Dad to help homeless mom, and small act of kindness sparks big change. Social media buzzed with comments, some praising Ethan's generosity, some questioning why more wealthy. People didn't do the same, and many sharing their own stories of struggle. Ethan was surprised by the attention. He was not used to public praise. In fact, he had never wanted anyone to know about the simple things he did quietly. But this time, the story was out, and there was no turning back. One morning, as Ethan read through the messages, he felt a mix of emotions. He was glad the story inspired people, but he worried about Maria and her privacy. Would all this attention make her uncomfortable? Would it bring unwanted pressure? He called Maria immediately. When she answered, her voice was calm but careful. "Maria, I know people are talking about you," Ethan said gently. "Are you okay?" There was a pause. Then Maria sighed. "I am okay, but it's strange. People recognize me now when I go to the store or take Hope to the park. Some are kind and smile, but others stare. I'm not used to this." Ethan understood. "We can manage it if you want. We can help keep your life more private. You're important to me in the project, and I want you to feel safe." Maria was grateful. "Thank you, Ethan. I trust you." Meanwhile, the attention brought new opportunities, where people wanted to support the Lily Project. Donations increased, allowing the team to help more mothers and children.
New homes were
Found job training programs expanded. Child care support improved. Maria's role also grew. She was invited to speak at events and share her story with larger groups. At first, she was nervous. Speaking in front of crowds was not easy, but each time she spoke, her confidence grew. She wanted to use her voice to give hope to others who were still struggling. One day, at a community center filled with mothers and families, Maria spoke about the power of kindness. "When I was alone and scared, one little girl's heart and one man's kindness changed everything," she said, her voice steady. "No one should feel invisible. We all need a hand to hold. Together, we can build better lives." The audience listened quietly, some wiping tears from their eyes. After the event, many women came to thank her, sharing their own fears and dreams. Back at his office, Ethan watched the progress of the Lily Project with pride. But he also thought deeply about the larger problem: homelessness, poverty, and the struggles many mothers faced. He knew his work had just begun. One evening, Ethan and Lily sat together in the garden outside their home. Lily was drawing pictures of houses and smiling children. "Daddy," she said, "do you think we can help every mom and baby who needs us?" Ethan smiled and ruffled her hair. "We'll do our best, sweetheart, and every little bit helps." Lily looked up at the stars. "I'm happy we helped Maria." "Me too," Ethan said softly. "She changed us in more ways than we imagined." At the same time, Maria's life continued to improve. As she had moved into a slightly bigger apartment, still safe and cozy, where Hope could play and grow. She had made friends with other mothers in the project, creating a small community of support and care. Maria had also started saving money for the first time in years. She dreamed of going back to school full-time and someday opening a small daycare center to help other struggling families. Her days were full and sometimes tiring, but she felt alive again. She was no longer just surviving, she was living. One afternoon, as Maria walked through a local park with Hope, she saw a group of children playing. Hope ran ahead, laughing and chasing butterflies. Maria watched her with a full heart, remembering the dark days of uncertainty and fear. A woman sitting nearby smiled at Maria and said, You look happy." "It's good to see," Maria smiled back. "Thank you, I am." That simple moment felt like a victory. Back in the world of business and fame, Ethan continued to push the Lily Project to grow. He worked to create partnerships with other organizations, hoping to bring the project to cities across the country. He also started talking openly about the importance of compassion and community support. During a televised interview, Ethan said, "We all have the power to help, no matter who we are or where we come from. Sometimes all it takes is listening to a child's heart and having the courage to act." The interview was shared widely, inspiring many to volunteer and donate. Lily watched her father on the screen, proud and happy. She remembered the day. She asked him to help Maria, a simple request that had changed so many lives. One evening, Maria received an invitation to speak at a national conference on homelessness and poverty. It was a huge honor, but also nerve-wracking. She wondered if she was ready. Ethan called her before the event. "You have a story that needs to be heard," he said. "Be yourself and speak from your heart." At the conference, Maria stood on the stage in front of hundreds of people. Her voice was strong but gentle. "I was once in a place where I had nothing but fear and hope," she told the crowd. "A little kindness and a chance changed my life. Today, I stand here not just as a survivor, but as someone who wants to help others find their way." Her words touched many. After the speech, people came forward to thank her and ask how they could help. Maria's life had come full circle. From the woman on the sidewalk holding a crying baby, she had become a leader and a symbol of hope. She often thought about how a little girl's question to her father had started it all. Ethan watched from backstage, proud beyond words. The journey was far from over, but the future looked brighter. For Maria, for Hope, for Lily, and for many others who needed help, there was hope. And that hope came from one simple act: listening, caring, and choosing to act. After months of hard work and small victories, Maria's life had changed in many ways she never thought possible. The small apartment she and baby Hope shared was now filled with laughter, toys, and the warmth of a home. Maria had learned to balance her job at the nonprofit, her classes to finish school, and being a loving mother. Each day was a new challenge, but also a new chance to build a better future. Hope was growing quickly, her bright eyes always curious and full of life. Maria watched her daughter take her first steps and say her first words with pride and joy. The fears of the past, sleeping in a car, not knowing where the next meal would come from, were becoming memories replaced by hope and strength. Maria had become a symbol of the success of the Lily Project. People admired her courage and dedication, not just to herself, but to others like her. She often shared her story, speaking honestly about the struggles and the kindness that had saved her. One afternoon, as Maria prepared for a meeting with some new families joining the project, Ethan called her. His voice was warm and excited. "Maria, I have an idea," he said. "I want to take the Lily Project further. I want to make it bigger, stronger, so we can help even more mothers and babies." Maria smiled. "That's wonderful, Ethan. There are so many who need us," Ethan continued. "I want you to help lead this next step. Your experience, your heart, they are the reason this project works." Maria felt honored but also a little nervous. "I will do my best. Thank you for trusting me." Together, they planned ways to expand the project. They looked for new partnerships with local governments, businesses, and other charities. They worked to provide more housing, better childcare, and even healthcare support for families. Goal was clear: no mother and baby should have to struggle alone. Lily was growing too. She still remembered the day she asked her father to help Maria, a moment that had started a movement. She was proud of her father, but even more proud of Maria. Sometimes, the three of them spent weekends together, playing in the park, sharing meals and dreaming about the future. One sunny day, Maria stood in front of a crowd of hundreds at a special event celebrating the Lily Project's success. She looked out at the faces: mothers, children, volunteers, donors, all connected by hope. "My journey was not easy," Maria said softly. "But with help, with kindness, I found my way back. Now, I want to help others do the same." The audience clapped, some wiping away tears. Marie's voice carried strength and promise. After the event, Maria sat with Ethan and Lily. "I never imagined my life would be like this," she said. "From the streets to here, it feels like a miracle." Ethan smiled. "It's your courage and heart that made the miracle happen." Lily hugged Maria and whispered, "You're my hero." Maria's eyes filled with tears. "No, Lily, you are the one who saved me." As time passed, the Lily Project continued. To grow, it became a beacon of hope in many communities, helping thousands of mothers and children find safe homes, steady jobs, and brighter futures. Maria's role expanded too. She started teaching classes for mothers, sharing skills and advice. She helped new families find comfort and courage, just as she had once found. One evening, as Maria tucked Hope into bed, she thought about all that had happened. The dark days of fear and loneliness seemed far away now. She knew there would still be challenges, but she was ready. She had a family, a purpose, and hope. Ethan and Lily often visited, their bond stronger than ever. The little moments, sharing meals, playing games, quiet talks, were reminders of what truly mattered. Looking back, Ethan thought about the day Lily had asked him to help a woman on the sidewalk. That simple question had changed more lives than he could have imagined. He often told others, "Never underestimate the power of listening to a child. Sometimes, their kindness can change the world." And so, what began as one daughter's gentle plea became a story of hope, courage, and the power of community. Maria's journey showed that no matter how hard life gets, kindness and support can help anyone rise again. And for Maria, Hope, Ethan, Lily, and the many lives touched by the Lily Project, the future was bright, filled with promise, love, and endless possibility. That completes the full 5-part true story outline, expanded into detailed narrative parts. Would you like me to help with anything else, such as turning these into YouTube scripts, summaries, or something else?